state name of pleasure, to connect physically, powerfully, that I love you with the power of another talking to, and will let you touch my lips, make them stop. Bonacue, light bulb, in the shape of a grotesque water lily. Awful steel, Mephistophelian lilt. Loose white muscles, my ears, breathing orange irises with a good chest shave. Vampire gatherer, bowls, Campari bowls. Peacock feather earrings, apricot brandy up the neck in sharp eggshell. Armadillo tail, wisps of untidy hair hanging from the wall. Putting on my old clothes, inner Griswold, Thurman, accordion. They know the end is meaningless because I break free. You heard me. You heard what I said. Pop it in. Weird. Burnt eyelashes through a tiger on a bike. Club little ends stuck together for supreme sense of structure. The world is not his, mine, or ice exposure with veins. I don't fit an adorable photograph you keep behind a menagerie of things we refuse to move, though clash and clutter. Together in the cornflakes, a little grain sugar, sneaking around broken trains, bored with the recipe, blowing superior raspberries. You never grow, just results. Poet as fuck right now. A painting of Julia's in low-cut Grecian dress looking into a mirror pool, the whole canvas falling into and crashing the disturbance. The ripple inside pleasure. One dark red braid of sea I dreamt last night. Her eyes had that extra left them in them. An insecure penny full of quitting streams, execution colonies, waving a cigar gas mask back at the Republic, puffin, Coca-Cola, every head turning beautiful nuns on an unwiped sooty table, flecked on mirror globe, peeling potatoes in Delphian light. Her bonnet, the benefit of surviving Twix, frozen rolls, sexualized years, the inside winter, stacked and forgotten. I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing, waiting to desperate, given forever. Life isn't only for the final 15. I wonder, do I stop pressing these buttons right here, reducing humility into caricature, a shaggy sheepdog encased in unrippable foil, Lidl in the permafrost, itching elbows to reduce tension, thighs belching to the assembled virtues of your past empty selves. Meanwhile, young men die for lack of true results. That alpha pair destroying, hardened unto weak bigotry, our nerves or others, their biases, impatient, not ours, but wholly sanctioned by the cartoon of our culture, severely mismanaged and perverted by the switch on the broken crucifix of unspeakable conscience, fed closet after closet of misguided fashion, shivers from a misfed arc, watching me be somebody on top of somebody else, anybody. Am I going to learn tonight to be the proper shame, the one who counts? Mr. High Nichols. Champagne cocktails and sod, crushed Pringles in a water glass, watching Crispy Hills half naked at Earl Hall, 70% current body weight, throwing tantrums with a sort of English purity. Spit strawberry pie in a bucket, then totally unscramble, and gargle some Schwebbies. Super beast. Like we were just heaving armies of great men, hump-worthy, adorable, totally click, click, click. Yeah. Your life on fire, right? 2-time and 4-timers, bang bang popcorn. I have a tear that looks like this, and one that looks like this. The figures I've seen, the truth is a calm world. Morn did shine, we measured frames. Flesh fade, endless error hurled. And I was sure that this warmth was a dry place or mortal trash, cheeks, salt, so slow down. Then mattress sags, the smiling face of a friend, abandoned in time. Who are who? To be good for something, irresistible charm, like everybody else. God, what a husband, I wake. Couch comfort theory. Apples, 1880. Benjamin Bunny bouncing a great curly mane of junior high curls. Maradona jumping into his assistant belly. To media, in tights. All the child in him, down the frame of my bike. Losing touch with where LeBron might be turning. Sleeping on an arrow bed in our old place. Buy a book on immediate Buddhism. Fear humility. Fear humility less. Then all went pear-shaped. Cummerbunds, rosemary leaves, French gargoyles. I may, mom, me, made a teenager who will make me money. Playing hide and seek with the fairs, kindly tolerated. One eye, bloodshot, gathering wood. Chewing a green plastic pacifier. Dave Hickey thinks we wouldn't need love songs if we weren't each unconcerned about hot sex and baby making. Maybe I got that all backwards. Make many love songs. But that's, well, you know, 270 divided by 12. Broadly cast and forever. Lined up for a sack race to cool your toes. A towel around each lawn sprinkler. Zombie state. Public hoof. Deed code. Panya in cuffs. Is that for Panya? Panya in cuffs. Tuned up, F-inch, banana jack, phone wrangler, palm blood, slot car, fingertip, rhino. Little shits to horrified man. I can only cry at the movies or work. Restaurant aerosol, lepidolite periwinkle, chalk up the thick present, thick thawing chemical frost. Getting laid, the cold it takes away. Adjusting to a loose black sweater, framed by hollowed muscles, gravel, unnatural warmth. Sun-end embroidery, soft lips, your neck, bicep tremors, playing air piano for a map of South America. 105, 90, 75, 60, 45, 30. That exquisite porcelain penknife with a painted donkey on the end, raising up from the pack. I saw a picture of Schumann the other day and remembered all my hair clippings. Paw bone, paw bone, paw bone, paw bone. How graphite shines when you color on color, rattled like a paper match. Black, white, black velvet squares abstracted geometrically. Pine tops, Kermit Pez, Barney Pez. Keep it simple, in lap, glowing, and simulated lake. Life can be tolerable if this is the best and the worst of it. Tumbling over debauched bits and grinning gallows, each individual stone on your bruised infant cheek. Too weak for the tender weight of frozen eyes, shady eyeliner, unclean nostrils, Bozeman's wrinkled green loam. Playing at a game of underground dust, subtle, poor, and masochistic. Developing a need with the mane, trampling over the edge of the jelly roll quilt. Everyone looks away. I thought today that a week's stay in a mental unit might be a relief. God help us all. Chew local slipper, What? This is it? Just to be at ease, with not being at ease? A looseness with punch holes slips out as you count lines in flour, an unnatural divide, or the semiotics of likelihood. There's no sacrifice in a world of unnatural privilege, but he was there, and I was there to keep you, whether you be kept or not.
It was anxiety that led me to love, an unsituatedness that made me fear rest and hate sleep. Now I sleep, that I take no final faith in what I gathered, the ideas I had and said about testing, like who can pull another up, a complexion like a boiled root, suggestions you found in other people's mouths or thought up yourself, then fought for and stored, counting out an allotment high enough to seem gracious, low enough to save. The sun rose or the sun sank behind a bank of broken clouds. If waiting is patience, waiting to be recognized, then destiny is a little sarcastic, which is how I described Blake's Tiger, Tiger poem in 10th grade English, for which the teacher mocked me. It turns out Blake meant it, was sincere about it, and no one suggested sarcastic was just one of very few words I had, like in my vocabulary. Like people have the word dry for wine because it sounds sophisticated and gives you a chance to tell your server what you like. And you can buy a wine card with a list of words like oaky or broad, so you can be even more sophisticated about what you'll tolerate in this life. What did I mean? Sardonic? Aghast? Or just Blake was smarter than our class, so he had a right not to be direct? Like a poet is a clown, in a good way. The purpose is to entertain people. You can be more smart than funny, perhaps not even funny at all. And if something is to be a commodity and a currency at once, like gold or a feeling, then it's got to be subject to laws affecting both. Though I can say it being one unfits it for being the other. Love is a feeling, and I love you, its expression. But I love you begets an I love you back, or it falters as its harbor fails to find. I love you is what I trade you, a thing, and I try not to drive down the value of a thing. Implicit love can be described but not remanded, and if ever it multiplied to take away that currency power, its allegiance to barter, well then I would just be cheated. She said I never wear panties, even when I'm playing a cold city, as though panties were for warmth. What she's doing is a trick if you think about it, the knack of coupling sensations that pass from top to bottom. Like the best sensation may be one you know you can remove, an unpleasant film on your fingers after you use them to mix some meal. You know you can wash. You know you're just tolerating something that can be relieved. And maybe that's the notch that unbelief yields in the structure's foundation. They are structures, these arrangements, living together, sleeping alongside. You have to care. Be the sun shining through a watery cloud, or the cloud creased to a white veil. Since where you believe you have power you don't, and where you do you refuse to wield it. But I don't know. Should people who show a little doubt in what they do always lose? Who wants to be reassuring all the time? It'd be like a job. And it's so public too. It's not like we won't ever have much to go on about. That's the best part about being gone. Rosy hill, but colored dale, heaving old enemies over. Nothing owned, just borrowed. One soul from another in the throes, golden throes. One's meant to make the most of an exchange picked out of the air, like a flower cut out from some pot, just to let this impression fall away without considering what you are letting it fall away from. All this litter a mistake, unopened cans of balls, furniture legs, cold cloth, row holders, cord knotted to secure something it could or couldn't hold. In 1968, there were 3,289 pieces of litter for each mile of United States highway. Hyphens got bigger in litter. Half-eaten, rain-soaked, sun-bleached, sand-covered, rust-crusted, shit-soiled, pea-filled, tire-crushed, tire-pounded, foot-crushed. Our reports begin, and I woke up, and I didn't know where I was. Next is, I could see a hand on my ankle. Some kick. I may jest on any subject, throw it over, talk of it as one other fact of experience to be borne in mind in the matter. In sense, knowing we are bored, knowing another as a bore, or the landscape as our borer. But do you think what struck you as insight, your own, when you said to your friend, I wasn't sleeping because there was too much light in the apartment, is just a misapprehension? That you can't be or seem wise unless you participate in a scheme where deeds have motivations and are not merely a succession, related one to the other like a royal family, and just as lily-livered. No one thinks the TV, after this break, joins the moment of silence for the tornado victims out of love. Let's listen in, they say, and there's a gathering crowd and a woman at a stand with head bent, and what we are listening to is the sound of holding everyone up. There's nothing to do during the day except get ready for the night. You know how it is when you're feeling aloof. You cut something out of your heart and hold it out like a plate you've got to give someone you don't like who's about to use it to unpack their takeout. The worst you ever thought was you were controlling yourself with controls you can wear out. You saw people travel to visit their native lands or those of their parents. Some even took steps to be buried in their native soil, or use its spices to lend ethnic quality to dishes of potatoes, rice, or noodles. The noodles themselves, where noodles had selves, represented love of nature, love of anything confused. Nature, oh love, nature of anything parasitic. Not just one, not another then suddenly two, but not a second, not anything like a next, but part two. Shelf lined with paper, white with small blue stars, gold with white sea anemones. I don't know what it is that entered this house and brought the interference. It was only when game shows masked gaps in status among participants by using first names and warm, superficial familiarity that we could feel acutely the benefits of status and produce rules trim enough to stay evaluation. Who is they? They are the same they always are. They are your others that you love but wonder about via hate, like different wings joined at the same bird. And now you get another picture of my mind thinking all this and know the present terrific moments important to me both now and as snapshot put away for future soothing nostalgia. And this gives you hope, though you're no longer myself, the quiet person loyal only to the view from my eyes. Horse. Horse, horse, will you be my mother? I am a horse, I cannot be your mother. Think of the point at which a disturbance intersects itself to show which side it supports, nobleness or misfitness. Think of a tampered with racehorse assigned to the usual oval. Now think of a heat-seeking ejaculation into a can of no-name asparagus tips. Stop giving me that job. Think of the weather, fallen from high, no longer able to develop, how it can only sustain those left to its consequence, can only excite those left to care. Would you like to hear a poem? I found it in the Post. It's called The Response. The Response. Air defense planes were scrambled, but pilots did not know where to go or what targets they were to interrupt. Once a shoot-down order was given, it was not communicated to the pilots. Ascend, sad thoughts, on golden wings, and implore heaven to freeze up its seams, that no bad martyr will ever get in, to strum the harp or make prophetic utterance. Take your seats and clam up. Ask yourself this as you clam. Have you ever done more than faint? Cry some tears, holding your face in your hands with one eye open, peering between two fingers to see if anyone sees you? I haven't known what will happen very long. We have a will, we find it thwarted. This creates irritation. the origin of which over time grows mysterious. Such mystery provokes our intelligence, which then provides answers. Answers born, don't forget, of irritation. And we'll pretend and say stuff and try to make friends, but in our heads this leftover feeling after profound thwartedness. Behold, I am against you,